liberty, and justice for all.
Thank you. This is the portion of the meeting where any member of the town council can declare if they have a conflict of interest with any items that are set for possible action on the agenda. Do we have any? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 5. Presented are the minutes of March 10th, 2025 regular council meeting and the March 17th, 2025 work session meeting. They need to be reviewed. Has everybody had a chance to review those? Are there any additions or corrections?
I didn't see any.
Seeing none, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of March 10th and the 17th, 2025.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Item number 6. This is a portion of the meeting for public comment. Anyone from the public is invited to make a comment at this time. Please step up to the podium, state your name for the record. There is a standard time limit of 3 minutes per person. Although we welcome and invite your comment, no discussion or response from the council is required, and any individuals should please not anticipate any. So, if there's anybody from the public that would like to speak. All right, seeing none, we will move on to item number 7. The department reports. Liddell.
Yeah, the first thing I need to do is apologize for I think there's a typo in your packet. I think I put January when I should have had March on. I did catch that and send in a revised copy, but apparently it didn't make it in. The private hangars are moving right along. One of them is completely closed in. The one I'm doing is about 2/3 siding is on it. The earthwork has been done for the Dodeca Alliance hangar. On the parallel taxiway to runway 11, construction has been going along really good. I think the crews are ahead of schedule on it. I think there's they're trying to remember what it's like 2 or 3 weeks into it, and they've got 11 weeks, and already they're hauling in the road base for it. They expect to start paving on May 5th, they said this morning. We had the crosswind runway was open, and the main runway was closed for a week or two while they displaced the threshold. Now the crosswind runway is closed and the main runway is open, and it's supposed to stay open till just before the project is completed. I think that's pretty much where we're at on the parallel taxiway. The master plan update, the scope of work is completed, and it's been reviewed by myself and Vance and the mayor, and we've gone out for an independent fee. IFE, independent fee estimate, okay? And we received that today, and it looks like they're pretty close to what Wolpert's figures are. So I think that's probably going to go ahead now. The project's going to be around $360,000 to update the master plan, and that's pretty much it.
Does council have any questions for Liddell?
Just one question. Is S&L done with that rodent curtain?
With what?
The underground rodent curtain that they were putting in? Are they done with that?
S&L?
Yeah. Well, you know how they're putting under the curtain underneath the ground for the rodents? Are they finished with that?
A curtain.
The fence.
The fence curtain.
Okay. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay. Yes, that is completed.
Okay, I'm
The
just curious.
underground skirting on that fence was completed. Oh, it's been a couple of months now. Yeah, it's good. They did a good job too. It's really good.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, thank you. All right. Andrew?
Good evening. With the building department, it seems like the last 3 years, we're just a couple of permits shy of each year. We're going down just a little bit, but I think that there's a lot of projects, some development projects that are coming on that I think that that'll change around pretty soon, but we still have over 100 permits that are open that haven't been completed. Some of them are moving faster than others. With the CDBG grants, we have the regional account. We have, as we reported, I think last time or the time before, we have the MOD, the method of distribution, and the application is due on May 23rd. So we're working on putting together all the stuff for that, and we'll need the cost estimate from the engineers. I have reached out, haven't got a definite answer yet, but the preliminary is that they're not going to let us split it and do two grants, but I'm still trying to get a hold of Kathy Blodgett to see. With this SSPs, we have the Central Street project is complete. We're working on the closeout documents for that. And we have not received the notice of funds available, the NOFA, on the SSP yet. It's normally due in June or July. So we're still looking for that.
Okay, thank you. Does the council have any questions for him?
So is this first one the one that was gonna do towards the master plan?
Yes, the RA is the
RA.
one we're going to do the general plan update. But it's not, can't remember how much. It's over 600,000 is what is available, closer to 700,000, and that's quite a bit to do that general master plan. So
And that's what you're saying, they won't let you split it?
yeah, so they won't let us do two projects. So even if we don't use all of that, we may lose some of it, or if we can actually make the project big enough and include more planning.
I think we've got that part. We're working on it.
Yeah, well, we need to get an estimate soon so that we can get that application together for it. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
The structure that's on Central Street by the creek area, is that a duplex?
that is a single-family dwelling. The address is off of that new cul-de-sac.
So it won't go into Central, it
There-
won't come off into Central?
There is a driveway that's planned. It's got a garage on both ends of the house.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering.
But it's still a
duplex.
single-family dwelling, so they'll have
Okay.
they're planning on a driveway that goes to Central Street.
Oh, so you'll allow that on that
Access from both
line corner?
That's the way it was on the site plan. I didn't do
Oh.
the review for the planning and zoning. So
Yeah, I thought it was all gonna come out of that cul-de-sac and go out the other way.
that's the way I envisioned it, and then also, not knowing exactly the elevations of Central Street when we do a bridge over that, it's gonna be a little bit tough to know exactly where all that's gonna line up and whether or not that driveway's gonna work after that project's done. So,
Okay, thank you. Got a great view of the mountains.
yeah. Till somebody builds in front of them.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. Thank you. All right. Lieutenant Gower. Are you giving a report today? Okay. All right. I believe the report is in your packet. Does the council have any questions? Okay. Yes, that's good. Thank you.
Well, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
It says here that the total number of traffic stops was 58,
Yes.
and 58 traffic citations were issued. Do you guys not give verbal warnings anymore?
Yeah, we do. I don't know that.
It's just interesting that with 58 traffic stops and 58 traffic citations, I just wondered.
Oh, so 103 in Hilldale.
Except there was more in Hilldale. You're just looking at only the Colorado City ones.
So you're just picking on the Colorado
Yeah,
City residents?
Well, we're all one community. I'm just talking about the total number of traffic stops.
Except there's
58
58
in Hilldale,
Hilldale and 103.
and 58 traffic citations.
Can I look at that report so I can?
No, it says 58,
So I know
Colorado
I'm
City was
testifying
58,
too?
Hilldale 103.
Oh, okay, I got that wrong. I'm sorry. I just wondered.
It was just a coincidence that both those numbers are the same.
He was picking on you.
Okay.
Okay, let's
A
look.
little discrimination going there.
The chief should have handed me this. Yeah.
I didn't catch that. I'm sorry.
There was more than that, because he didn't get the 103 in Hilldale.
There was some in Hilldale and some in Colorado City.
Okay, so the way I'm looking at it here is, there was total traffic stops in Colorado City was 58, in Hilldale 103. 58 traffic citations were issued with 3 DUI arrests of the total.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I just, the coincidence of 58 and 58.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's it. Any other questions? I can kind of give you an overview of what's going on in the department, or,
No, that's good. Thank you.
okay,
We appreciate you.
you bet.
All you do. All right, Rick.
Hello, council. Just been working on roads and water lines still. It feels like same thing over and over and over every time I come. But
That's what the job is.
yep.
The roads are looking really good.
It's,
What's the little fence they're putting up over there at Lartson?
it's to try to help people with dogs understand that they need to let them go potty
But to keep them on one
over
side.
there.
and-
Yeah, just they're working on their signs still. It'll be more obvious pretty
I
soon.
just saw them hammering stuff, and so
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I wondered if it was.
Yeah, it's just to help keep the mess in an area
Perfect.
when they're not picking up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to the roads are looking a lot better than past.
Yeah, we're working
So
on it.
you've done an amazing job so far. So
We've got a lot to
we
do.
appreciate it.
Okay. Does the council have any questions? The report is in the packet, so if there's any questions.
Sure, I appreciate what you do, Rick.
We would like to say thank you also. So with that, we'll let you off the hook.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right, Jerry.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'd like to just go over some highlights real quick, and then be happy to take any questions. We've closed out the carpet grade in February. That was an internal closeout with the engineer. We're doing the final closeout in Mojave County, and that will be done the end of this month as we complete. We did get the permits for Academy Well and Well 17, but we're just, hopefully this week, we're gonna receive the final permit for the funding plan. Excuse me, and then once the funding plan is approved, the state will go ahead and approve the actual use of Academy Well. So I'm not sure if you've been following some of the things that have been going on. The reason we're required to have a funding plan is because the water treatment plant was never permitted. And both states did not find any permitting that was ever done on the water treatment plant. So therefore, we have to treat the water like it's not being treated in the water plant. And we have to show that we can meet all the MCL's maximum contaminant levels and have a safe water supply to our residents. So that's why we're going through this additional several steps to get these 2 wells up and running. The funding plan I spoke with ABQ today, and they said that it should be done this week. They'll give us that permit to go ahead and start using the blending plan, and then that means we can start using the Academy well, and shortly after that, we can start using the well 17. So that's good news going into the summer. The other thing that we found out was last month in March, we got a nice surprise. The Community Impact Fund, it's the CID in Utah. We had provided an application back in 2022 for some projects, a combination of water, wastewater, and other city projects. We were alerted in March that we would be considered for the grant that we submitted, which I think total was about $8 million. But when they gave the rankings, the utility portion, specifically water, came out as the top priority for all the applications that were received. So we have to put in a separate application just for the water projects for a total of $4.3 million in June, and then we'll see how much of that gets funded in the grant from CID. So that's good news. We've had 3 meetings with Centennial Park back in late 2024. They had written a letter from their wastewater district that they wanted to take a look at making some improvements to the lift station and possibly to the force main so they could get more capacity. And this also dovetails with what we're doing for the 2 communities, and that's an update of our sewer master plan. The last sewer master plan update was it was 7 years ago. So this is a good opportunity to update that. It should be updated every 5 to 7 years. And we've selected a firm that's Sunrise because they did the original impact fees and study. And so they'll just be updating the existing plan. And so we had 3 meetings with Centennial Park, and we wanted to make sure that they had some say into what was going on. And we invited them to join us in the sewer master plan and actually participate on 2 levels where it would be part of the overall sewer master plan would include Centennial Park. That's number 1. Number 2, it also help with the impact fees for Centennial Park. And then it would also help with the long-range planning for the area. We can take a look at what future needs will be coming in the communities, including Centennial Park. So we had 3 meetings in December, January, and the last one was March 12th. And in March, we had a meeting with Jesse Hammond. He's the manager of the water district and the sewer district. Charles Hammond, Nathan Fisher, and myself. And the cost share for this update was split out. And all we need now to make it move forward with Centennial Park is for them to enter into an agreement and cost share with the 2 communities. Our communities are fine because we can use our current impact fee dollars to do our master plan update. So those are all the updates I think that were highlighted. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Does council have any questions for Jerry?
I have a question about the Watchman's Point and our water situation. Have you considered that, or did we have enough? That was a pretty good discussion on that when we met. Just wondered what you thought.
Yeah, I think that the Watchman's Point has been very open and transparent, and they have some great ideas and thoughts on how to develop the area and also like water and sewer without putting additional costs onto the communities. So I thought those were really good dialogues, and I think that there's a good path forward, and they're happy to participate in some of the funding up front.
Okay. Any other questions?
What is it gonna take to get the water treatment plant permitted? Is that something that looks like it's gonna be fairly soon?
Well, I've been talking to several engineers, and I've been talking to ADEQ, as they're the agency that has to permit the plans, and taking a look at all the requirements for the permitting, because we would basically have to start from scratch. So we would have to do the permitting and engineering like nothing exists there right now. So we're basically starting with a pile of dirt, and we're creating a plant that's already been working for several years. To do all those steps, a minimum of $350,000 to $400,000 is what I'm hearing back from the consultants.
Okay.
Have him repeat that. How many hours?
How many hours was that?
That was dollars.
How many hours?
So,
I didn't.
you need to explain it again.
Can you please just re-explain what you just told us?
Yes, absolutely. The water treatment plant, on the records for Utah DPW, Division of Drinking Water, and Arizona Department of Environmental Quality does not exist because it was never permitted. So the engineer has to go through the same process as any subdivision or any new construction would be required to do with submit a plan showing that this is what's being thought and designed for a water treatment plant, and here are the outcomes. That has to be permitted, and then we have to go back and construct the plant according to whatever plans are approved. And that means we may have to make some changes to the existing plan to meet that requirement. We can then apply for the second part of the permitting, which is the ability to use the plan as it would be approved. So basically, to do the roundup engineering, do all the submittals, and then any of the construction or reconstruction that we would have to do to meet the current requirements, the prices I've been hearing back are $350,000 to $400,000.
Okay, thank you. Was that clear?
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, I'm aware of some of those processes in some other areas of the community we've had to deal with. Okay. Does council have any other questions? Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you.
Thank you, and have a good evening.
You too.
All right, Vance.
My report's on page 29 in your packet. We are working on getting the town's culinary water impact fees moved over into the town's control. We have set up a separate fund to do that, and we're just working through the process of getting them moved into the town. Going forward, the development fees will be collected directly by the town as part of the building permit issuance process. I'm still spending quite a bit of time on the landfill operations with John, Rose, and Sarah. We've pretty much got the accounting and financial reporting reconciled and updated. We're still 2 years behind on financial audits, which we are working on. And John Fisher has taken on over the role of the daily operation, so he oversees the operations. And Sarah and myself have been working a lot on the accounting side of it. We're still working on a potential law enforcement IGA with Apple Valley. They approached the town, we send a draft, they had sticker shock, we've modified it, send it back, and we haven't heard back yet. Also beginning the discussion with an emergency dispatch IGA with Fredonia. Kane County has notified them that they do not want to continue providing that for them. And the state 911 has also notified our dispatch that we needed to take that over. So, we're starting next year's budgeting needs. Don't really have a lot of development on that yet, but it gets pretty intense pretty fast. Due to some staff changes, then I've had the planning and zoning, the daily operations of that back on my plate. There's still a lot of interest in development. We got not only Watchman's Point, but some other fairly meaningful developments that are creeping up out of the woodwork. And there's just been a steady trickle of lot splits as bigger lots are getting infilled. So, unless you have some questions.
Will we have to beef up staff, if we take on Fredonia?
The dispatch staff will be able to take it on as it is right now. The worst case scenario would be, if we hired another person, we might actually get to where we have 2 people on 24/7, which would actually put the dispatch center in a better position.
But doesn't this include the emergency response teams as well that go to?
No,
Fredonia?
this is just the dispatch.
Just the dispatch, I see.
The fire EMS is a separate thing they're gonna have to work through with the fire district. We're not.
We already covered most of the way over to there anyway.
So is Kane County, they're still gonna service their emergency response?
That's between them and Kane County, and I don't know.
Just trying to understand what they're
On the
saying.
police side, would the county help out over there? Mojave County, Sheriff Department?
Fredonia is in Coconino County.
Oh, that's right,
and
excuse
you
me.
have-
Out of their
They're
jurisdiction.
treated by Coconino County about like we do by Mojave County.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
So this isn't saying that our ambulance is gonna go over there?
No, this is strictly the
Just the
emergency dispatch. They pick up their phone, hit 911, it would ring here instead of Kane County.
I see.
Yep.
All right. Does the council have any other questions for Vance? All right, thank you. And I guess that will do it for the department reports. Item number 8.
The item number 8, we had it in the packet. The packet was already printed when we got word that they were still not quite done up with the utilities. So we've pushed that back to May.
Good. Thank you. Item number 9. Consider zoning map amendment parcel 404-53188 from RE1A residential to R112 single-family residential. Planning Commission considered this request for a zoning map amendment by John Barlow at the April 7th, 2025 meeting and unanimously recommended approval by the Town Council. Developer's intent is to rezone and split this into 2 smaller lots. Does the council have any questions or comments?
Oh, I would say all 3 of these look like pretty much the exact same
Oh.
situation.
All 3 of these are the same type of request. They would all
Flag
result
lot.
in a flag lot.
Okay,
Yeah,
could we,
and it's still, and all 3 of them were, there was a motion to approve, but the, planning and zoning, they have their angst about the flag lots as the rest of us do as far as that goes.
They had quite a bit of discussion on that, and I included that minutes in your
Those minutes,
packet,
yeah.
so you could have that briefing on that.
But I would just say if we could make the motion to approve all 3, they're pretty similar.
I've got a question. When you have a lot like well, at least 2 of these, the other one looks like it has a road to the middle.
Easement along the
So
side.
each one has to be a flag lot, pretty much?
Yes, the one that you're thinking of is actually a driveway alley. It's not a road.
Oh, is it?
Right.
Yeah. And part of their discussion was if it would be worth trying to convert some of those alleys to roads. That's a discussion we can have. I personally think they would be too narrow.
right.
So, that we will, they did request that we have that discussion at our next planning commission meeting with some ideas, so
Yeah.
that may or may not come forward.
Okay. So currently, we have a motion to approve item number 9, number 10, and number 11. With that, I will go ahead and read into the record the parcel numbers. Item number 10 is parcel number 404-53372, and it is the same residential, or RE1A to R112. Item number 11 is parcel number 404-53446, RE1A to R112 residential. So with that, we have a motion to approve those three items.
I'll second it. Or do you need a motion? Okay.
I made the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? None opposed. The motion's carry for items number 9, 10, and 11. Item number 12, consider approval of Axon Enterprise funding for body cameras and tasers. Now, Rob was going to present this. Vance, do you have?
Yes, I'll take it.
Okay.
Beginning on page 52 in your packet. The body cams and the tasers we currently are running are getting to end of life, and they are no longer being supported, which means as they die, you can't get them repaired. So Chief Radley has working with Axon, has got a financing proposal that will replace all of the tasers with updated tasers, which are a lot better technology, as I understand it, and also updated body-worn cameras for all the officers. It comes with a pretty hefty price tag. On page 53 in your packet is the breakdown. It'll be a 5-year payment of about $45,000, just shy of $45,000 a year, with the 52 on the first year. We are asking permission to move ahead with that because we need to get them ordered, and they have about a 90-day lead time from when we place the order.
Are we gonna be able to?
Contract would start in July.
Is this something that Axon covers, if they finance it, or is it
Yes,
out of the
yes, this
city's
is
budget?
financed through Axon.
So is this, something that's, can be worked through their budget, or is this gonna blow their budget out of the water, or how are we looking that way?
As with any item, it's choices. In order to stay in compliance with the injunctive order, we have to keep the body-worn cameras going.
Yep.
In order to mitigate our risk, we do need good tasers, because they're a nice, less lethal
Less
than
lethal,
the next
yep,
step
for
up.
sure.
And I think Lieutenant Gower could probably answer any specific questions on how those work better than I can.
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Great.
Also in that price, I'm going to kind of run this through Axon and got it all set up. Also in that price is a virtual reality training system to where we can set up a scenarios right in our office, you know, using virtual reality goggles that teaches how to de-escalate situations, use the taser when appropriately, and then we don't have to fire those cartridges during real life training. Each cartridge is about $40 to $45 a piece every time we fire the taser. With this VR system, we learn to use the taser, and it's no expense. We don't fire cartridges. I mean, it virtually you fire it in a situation when you deem that you're to that point to where you have to use that kind of force. And then it also teaches us transitions between, you know, when we have to switch to a firearm and put away the taser. And it's actually a really cost-effective training system. And it's something we would invite all of you to come and experience when we get it set up, so you can kind of go through the training that we do, and you're not in any danger. You just you learn how we learn. So.
Well, the question that I would have is, you guys are presenting this like we don't have much of a choice. We gotta do it, right? Or is there a choice?
Well, this is hands down the most cost-effective method, and it keeps us
In compliance.
updated.
But was there money allocated for this in the last budget?
Last year's budget did have some, it wasn't this much. We've been paying on the existing ones for the last 5 years.
So from.
This is the last ones was just a few cameras. This is a lot more robust system. It's also replacing the tasers. And like he explained, it's given us a
Training
a
program.
training module that is basically a minimal risk to the officers.
Well, I kind of gathered from your other comment that would be robbing from Peter to pay Paul a little bit here, and
Well-
I'm wondering what's going to be heard if we approve this.
That I don't know, but all I'm saying is that it's a big enough bite that, yes, choices are being made. We are coming to the end. We got one more payment on the dispatch system, the hell's that thing called? Motorola, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, Vance, are you
And-
confident we have the money?
I'm confident we have the money, but as far as saying what we're not going to do if we do this, I don't have that answer.
Well, that's what concerns us.
Well, that's part of why I get to sprout gray hair.
Yeah.
And I can tell you with these new cameras, they have a system on them now that we are really interested in is they have an interpretation module on them. So if we're talking to somebody, which we do at times, there's a language barrier there, it will help us interpret they talk and it'll tell us what they said.
How much of an increased payment will we have over what we have been paying?
About just shy of $30,000 a year. The other thing that I wish Chief would have been here, but he is saying the way these work, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm the officer and I'm on scene and I've got my camera on, another officer walks up, his camera will turn on, it'll reach over and turn it
Oh,
on
yeah.
for him.
And yeah, that's
So you
another-
don't forget to, if you forgot to turn your camera on, 'cause a lot of times you're coming into backup, you're already
Busy.
busy.
Well, and yeah, there's that feature, and this also includes sensors for our holsters, for our firearms. That, like we all of a sudden find ourselves in a situation where we have to hurry and draw our firearm, it automatically, once we draw the weapon, it turns the camera on.
If the camera's not already on, it turns it on for you.
I have a question about your tasers. In the past, do you use them very often, or, I know you have to have them, and I'm not saying you don't, but how frequently do you use them?
Actually, we actually display them more than we fire them.
Yeah, I see.
Usually 90% of the time, usually when we display the taser that, hey, you're on the verge here of getting tased, they give up. They
I see.
cuff up sometimes.
That's a good thing.
But most, we rarely fire them.
Okay.
Another thing I would say is we're trending upward quite rapidly. Behavioral calls that we're having to respond on both
Yes.
here and everywhere that I work, so it's well worth having them.
Yeah, I worked day shift on Saturday, and we had 3 psychiatric
Yep.
calls that day. That
Okay.
can be very volatile.
Is this the top of the line equipment?
Yes. Most, 99% of law enforcement agencies use Axon because of the quality and the reliability.
When we get to will it last the 5 years that we're financing it for?
Absolutely.
And when do they recertify?
At the end of 5 years.
Okay. So it's kind of it's a payment plan. Each time you re-up, it ends up being the
If-
same amount. So we would now need to budget, is that correct, for that amount each annually?
Pretty much plan on it for the
And then in 5 years, we're gonna have to start a new one.
Yeah.
very high probability of
This-
that, yes.
As Taser phases things out, then Axon, as they phase things out, then we have to because then we lose the support. It's like the city manager said that, like we're running the body 3 cameras right now, and won't be long till they won't support those anymore or repair them once they go down.
But it's not like Axon has good, better, and best, and we're just getting the best.
No, it's all one grade.
It's not like you can pick and choose a
No,
cheaper
it's-
package or.
No, all their equipment's just one grade.
Okay.
As far as what they provide to law enforcement.
So one question, if one of these get broken, a camera or a Taser, then they repair it inside this cost, correct?
No extra cost, no.
So there's not a maintenance cost that comes
No,
later?
if they break down,
All right. Well, thank you.
okay.
Okay. Well, with that, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve this. They've convinced me that it's necessary, and that's assuming Vance can find the money.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. Item number 13, consider resolution entering into a flood control IGA with Mojave County Flood Control District. Vance.
It is beginning on page 62 in your packet. This is the annual flood control IGA with Mojave County Flood Control District. We are looking to, we didn't get the grade control structures done on township right away, so we've left that as the project, just added this funding to it. This IGA will provide an additional $26,000, which is about how much is in the fund right now.
Does the council have any questions on that?
Will we be able to do what we need to do with that little bit of money?
Well, that's part of why they end up being stacked up for a couple of years till we can get enough to actually do a project. I believe we can make that work this summer.
Are you saying we have
52.
about 52,000? Is that what you're saying?
Total,
Yeah.
after we receive this funding.
Does council have any other questions? We will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2025-07, authorize the mayor to execute the flood control IGA with Mojave County Flood Control District.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. Item number 14, consider resolution adopting a new project for CDBG SSP application. Andy, it's my understanding that this, that the project we had for the streetlights, we couldn't make the environmental reviews?
So doing the preliminaries and all the descriptions and mapping to get that environmental review started is a little bigger project than I thought it was. I thought that we could put it together very simply, but I guess we're needing a little bit more with it. We're probably gonna have to get at least an engineer to do a little bit of work with it.
So I guess some clarity on that. It's my understanding that from what I've been told is that anytime the dirt is disturbed, that takes a review on that site.
Yes.
So every single pole that would have a light that had a wire running down would be.
So what we need is a description of each site, similar to what we had with the fire hydrant project we did before, where we have a map that shows every spot. Each spot has a description of where it is and what it would take to do that little project. It is actually something that we could include in the general plan update if we had that, and then we'd have that map, that description, and use that from the general plan update for making that a future project, and that'd be so.
So would we go out and try and do just like the fire hydrant project?
Well,
The other projects, the other projects we have already in the hopper are Hilldale Street and what's the other one?
Well, so I think that Hilldale Street is probably the only one that we have an environmental review done on that's here.
Didn't we have it on the fire hydrants? Didn't we have?
We did have it on the fire hydrants, but when we did the public participation process, then I was told that one was getting funded somewhere else, and so it didn't end up on our list, so it's not one of the ones that was discussed in our public participation meetings. So in order to do that one, I'm not sure if they would flag that and say, no, it didn't go through the
But
public
it was in our first meeting.
It was in last year's.
Yeah, so it's been in the
Has been
meetings.
in there, but it wasn't discussed as a potential project for this round.
I thought we already
It was
approved
brought
it.
up, we brought it up, but then you said it was possibly being funded. That's why it wasn't on the
Yeah,
top list.
That's why it didn't make the list.
But I'm saying
on the
it
public
was on the
particip-
list. It was in the top.
Last year.
Yeah,
In the public participation process, it wasn't put onto the potential projects, that's what I'm saying,
For this year, it was not.
for this round. When we had quite a robust conversation about this project when we did these, and it was a question as to whether do this or do the next section of Hilldale Street. So, that's what I think that we have the environmental review done. We wouldn't need to go out and do another environmental review. And even though we haven't received the NOFA yet, then I still don't know that we will have enough time to do a
What-
environmental review.
What is that time frame? What is the time frame on this particular grant to get the application? What time do we have?
So we won't know the date for the application until we get the NOFA. It'll give us the amount and the day of that. But typically, it's June or July when the application's due. But when they push it later and later in the year to give us the NOFA, sometimes they'll push that deadline date back. So there's a chance that we could have enough time. I just don't know.
Could we have everything prepared on the Hilldale Street project by June, by the deadline?
Hilldale Street project is already pretty much shelf-ready. We have the environmental review done. We could shift over and put together that application, and we could probably complete that application within a month and a half from right now.
And that would complete the curb and gutter and the roadway, or roadside improvements up past the cemetery?
Don't know until we know what funds are available. So as soon as we know how much funds are available, we would send that to the engineer and have him do an estimate of how far we could go. Then we use that to put into the application.
Okay.
I'm curious about the fire hydrant project. Has that been totally shelved? I thought we chose that one above the rest of these.
We did choose that one over a year ago. We chose that for the last years, and we applied for it and didn't get the funding for it. So we
And
did.
so it just falls off the list.
Well, no, we was gonna put it back on, but then we was told that it was getting funded by a different way through utilities or some other funding, so we didn't put it on the list.
Yeah, we were told that was gonna
So is it
go
gonna
from a
get
different-
funded or not? I'm just curious.
I have no idea, but it's definitely something we've done the environmental review on, and even next round, we could put that in, and the environmental review we've done would still work, even for
So you're saying
next
that one's
year.
not even eligible for this year?
could you do another public participation? There's
don't
only
think-
about 4 people at it anyway.
We don't have time.
Just kidding.
Yeah, to put it together, the public participation takes about 2 to 3 months, because I have to advertise it, wait so many days before we have the meeting, and then after that, we have to wait so many days to advertise, and then wait so many days to, so there's a chance that would push us past. I just don't know until we have that, the notice from ADOH on the NOFA.
right. Well, I would hate to see the opportunity to get something applied for that would benefit us.
Yeah.
Council,
I don't
have any
have a
other-
problem with
go ahead.
doing Hilldale Street.
No.
You have any other
But would you
questions?
just do the same thing you did on the other sections of Hilldale Street, where some of the curb and gutter doesn't get done, or what?
Yeah, some of the areas that are not developed, that would be my preference, is to the areas that are not developed, have whoever's gonna develop that area do their side of the street, but do the other side
We'd still want the streetlights and stuff, though.
We'd still be able to do the streetlights, intersections, stuff like that.
So what's the chance of getting the funding to actually do it? I mean, we talk about these things and talk about them, and then they fall through. It just-
The
It drives me
SSP.
nuts. I like to make a decision and get something done.
Right. Well, so the RA grant is guaranteed money. That's one that we get the funds for it. The SSP is highly competitive. They only grant about 4, sometimes 5 of those applications a year. And sometimes there's 40 that are applied for. 40 different jurisdictions that apply for the same money. So
So if we
they,
do the Hilldale Street, what's the chances of having the money to actually do it?
we have been fairly successful, and I don't really know whether or not they would score us high or low. It depends. I mean, we have traditionally, in times past, we've normally scored really well and put together good applications. We've probably are granted more for the size of our community than most other communities, because we typically are applying every year for it. And there have been some years we've had an RA grant and an SSP grant in the same year, which is not normal.
Well, maybe the squeaky wheel actually gets the grease this time, huh?
All right. Well, thank you. With that, I would make a motion that we go ahead and switch that project and approve to adopt the resolution 2025-08, authorizing submission of the 2025 CDBG Special Projects Grant Application for the Hilldale Street project.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. Item number 15, consider final plat for Sentinel subdivision. Vance.
The Sentinel subdivision is a small commercial subdivision out on Mojave Avenue. The work's been done for a bit. We've been waiting on them to get their as-built and their stuff together and in. And what we have tonight is a request to approve the final plat and authorize to be recorded. At that point, the streets around it and stuff become property of the town. There is a chip seal along Mojave that we've still got to do as we get into the season and require a little bit of reshaping the road. But Sentinel subdivision is also bearing a good share of that cost that they will pay for as we get to where the weather permits.
Okay. Does the council have any questions about that?
This has been reviewed and signed off by the different departments.
So it has been, all of the department heads think that it's a great job they've done and we want to accept it.
It complies with the construction drawings.
Okay. With that, we will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the final plat for Sentinel subdivision and authorize its recording.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Are there any opposed? None opposed. Motion carries. Item number 16, we will go into executive session for discussion and consultation with legal counsel. We need a motion to go into executive session.
I'll make the motion that we go into an executive session.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? None opposed. We will go ahead and we'll pause our regular council meeting and go into executive session.